Hello trophy hunters, welcome to the fourth part of my ultra rare platinum series, where I'm counting down my platinums that are below 5% rarity. We're now on to numbers 20 and below, which are platinums well under 4% rarity. So let's continue. Battlefield 4 for the PS3 is the game that reminds me that I didn't get a PS4 at launch. It was my last big purchase for the PS3, coming out in October 2013, over 10 years ago now, with the next gen version available on PS4, which released in November. The differences between the two were huge, graphical and technical. 24 players were allowed on the PS3 compared to the series staple of 64-player multiplayer on PS4. I still played it to death, focusing on the multiplayer and enjoying the Battlefield crazy unique moments that the series is known for. Multiplayer took the third entry's robust systems and added more weapons, attachments and maps. A new feature called Levolution was introduced, where massive events changed the maps for the rest of the game. These range from storms to a skyscraper being demolished. There was a good variety to help Battlefield stand out from the competition. Only a few trophies were present in multiplayer, 5 in total. Most of them then were behind the surprisingly good single player campaign. Collectibles and higher difficulties are plenty, but the hardest trophy is Full Arsenal, which tasks you with unlocking all the weapons by completing the game's single-player assignments. I guess it's rare because the majority of people would only play the multiplayer, yet alone finish the campaign. Battlefield 4 is the best benchmark for a good Battlefield game, unlike 2042, which was so disappointing, and I haven't quite brought myself to load it up again, even to check out the improvements, if any. I say this super casually, but Slay the Spire is one of my favourite games of all time. Collectible card games have been in my heart since Final Fantasy VIII's Triple Triad, where collecting was just as fun as playing. Then the standalone Gwent game kickstarted something long dormant since then, and I started to notice single-player card games and deck builders. Slay the Spire then is the king of roguelike deck building. Its simple and addictive gameplay will always have you thinking of how you can improve your turns, your deck, your overall build, and it's so easy to just have one more go. Every failed run feels like progress due to the cards and new items you unlock. There are a lot of troublesome trophies, however. A speedrun to complete the game in less than 20 minutes. A trophy where you must beat the game using a deck made up of 5 cards or less. Plenty of other tricky miscellaneous where you must take advantage of each character's abilities, like stacking poison or regenerating energy. A lot of these are situational and depend on what cards you may or may not get. The most difficult, however, is the Ascension related trophy. There are 20 Ascension levels, where level 1 will add a bit of damage boost to normal enemies, level 2 will add more HP to the bosses, level 3 then gives you less health after you defeat a boss, and so forth. Each Ascension level stacks and accumulates with the last until the max level. So the level 20 final modifier has all the other 19 active, as well as having to fight 2 end bosses in a row. With a healthy mix of luck and planning, you can overcome this challenge, but it's not an easy one or a fast one. It takes many failed runs until everything seems to align in your favour. Regardless, it's a super rewarding and difficult platinum, and well worth the ultra rare status. I highly recommend everyone to check it out. Mercenaries II is a buggy mess. I do have fond memories of it, as there's definitely fun to be found within the open world and the sheer amount of destruction at your fingertips. The amount you could call in, bombs, airstrikes, vehicles, all of the in-game shop was really cool. and that you use the money you've earned throughout the game for completing bounties and missions. It was just a good, simple system with cool progression. You could unlock a lot of unique stuff by doing faction quests, that kind of thing. The story was nothing special. It really is about the explosions, and sometimes that's the thing, isn't it? The trophies, however, what a pain. It would have been a somewhat okay list, but with so many bugs involved, it really brought the whole experience down. Unlocking trophies was like a coin flip. Sometimes the triggers didn't matter, they didn't register. It's difficult to say exactly what would go wrong and how. Much like the gameplay, the actual act of unlocking a trophy was just chaos. The trophy I remember being the most troublesome is for capturing all of the high value targets alive, which is a cool mechanic. You bring them in alive for more money as opposed to dropping a massive bomb on them. It was so easy to accidentally kill the targets though, and then the game doesn't register that you even caught one of the targets sometimes, and that's the whole platinum playthrough ruined in a campaign that I'd have to look it up, but it's probably about 20 hours. It's not a short game. I think it's because you had to be connected to the EA servers, which tracks a lot of these stats needed to unlock the trophies. In fact, there's a trophy for earning a certain amount of money for being connected to the server. It was obviously a troubled, buggy game. Unfortunately, or perhaps thankfully, the platinum is unobtainable now due to these servers being shut down. I still enjoyed my time with it though, and I think it was actually my 10th platinum overall, so it's a good early memory of a good platinum. Zombie is a zombie apocalypse game set in London that emphasizes survival and resource management. It had a little bit of Dark Souls thrown in too, that when your character dies, the next character you play as can hunt down the turned survivor and pick up your old loot. It's tense, difficult, and very atmospheric, even without the extra challenge of the trophies. The gameplay, however, is a bit clunky, not for everyone. It's easy to die, especially with the limited ammo and health you find throughout the game. Also, the graphics are pretty bad. It is not a looker. Normally, that's something that really doesn't bother me, but this game just seems overly blurry and grainy. They went a bit too hard on the filters, I think. The atmosphere does make up for it. It has a very unique feeling. Glaringly though, difficulty trophies do not stack. You'll have to play on standard, chicken, and survival. Survival being the hardest, which has permadeath, so no recovering your loot with a new character. Zombies are tougher, you'll find less ammo and health scattered around. I certainly lost a lot of progress from dying a few times halfway through the game. It's worth noting that anything on PlayStation Plus tends to push the rarity down as more people have access to it and less people will actually get the platinum. The game has flaws, but I did enjoy it. Worth it for the ultra rare platinum at least, and it's always nice to see London as a game setting. Medal of Honor Frontline was a game that was such a big deal when it released on PS2. If you want to see how far games have come, then load up a 2002 PS2 game remastered for the PS3. I'll never forget playing the opening level for the first time. It's such a cinematic set piece for a video game, and there's not many games that can match that initial sense of shock and awe. Saying that, it is a game from 2002. It looks and feels its age. There are classic controls that make me feel my age. They are so counterintuitive, it's a wonder how anyone ever used a control scheme like this in the first place. Strafe is L1 and R1, look left and right is left analog, and look up and down is right analog. Insanity. But I guess it's what we were used to. We have Alien Resurrection to thank for modern controls. Thankfully, only one trophy is dedicated to classic controls, which I honestly left until the very last. It was great revisiting this classic and experiencing the old school 2000s difficulty, but this next trophy was so difficult I needed a 5-year break. Complete the game on hard. Such a nice, simple trophy description doesn't do justice to the gigantic difficulty of this. So many difficult segments. Every level was a challenge, especially later levels, one of which being in a minecart, an on-rails segment of sorts. Every encounter, however, was like a puzzle. Who to take down first, when to switch weapons, how my health and ammo were doing. I spent just as long retracing my steps looking for random health drops that I might have missed than I did actually playing the game. You can see why this is ultra rare. It's cumbersome, difficult, and old. A bit like me, but I sat down one day, focused on it, but it's ended up as one of my rarest platinums. That's another 5 ultra rare platinums down. Next will be numbers 15 to 11, which means we're really close to my top 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please subscribe if you did. Otherwise, look forward to my next one. Take it easy, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.